Happy to be here with you for the first ever Competency-Based Learning Summit in the Ritenour School District. So this is the first annual, and so when we say annual, the thinking is that we would come together on a yearly basis on or about this time, right after the end of a school year, to check in on the progress that's been made, the challenges that we've encountered, the questions that we still have around the work of redefining quality instruction in the Ritenour School District. So where we've had those pilot schools, where we've had the pilot work going on, I just want to say thank you for all the great learning that you've done, for being that leader to help us as a district learn from your work so that we can continue to spread this approach, this methodology all the way across the district. From my perspective, this is not a top-down initiative, right? But rather it's working with teams of teachers through these pilots, it's learning as we go to help spread the methodology. So this bottom up, this grassroots kind of work that we're trying to do around competency-based learning, I think is going to allow for some sustainability in this approach and to move the outcomes for every student that we have in this district.
So what I want you to do real quick is read the 4 statements, I'll read them out loud to you in a second, and mark with an X where you think you are on that continuum of strongly disagree or strongly agree. Learners should advance upon demonstrated mastery of an area. Okay.
Should I just go over there for?
Yeah, be the one. All right, next question. Assessment is a meaningful and positive learning experience for learners. If you need to shift, go ahead and shift. Interesting, we have some movement. Okay.
So basically our first statement, we want to make sure that we have equitable practices in our district. When we talk about cluster grouping, that is part of that work. We want to make sure that every decision that we make, we're looking at it through an equity lens.
Where are we headed long term? So developing proficiency scales for all areas, all content areas. That goes back to that 10-year plan.
So beyond just the end of unit type assessments and our benchmark assessments, how do we use those smaller formative assessment pieces to help kids on that path of their growth? And then also, how do we create performance assessments so that they can take those skills and apply them to bigger real world projects?
And it's not just those assessments that can provide that sufficient evidence. It could be a one-on-one conversation. It could be you observing what they did during a high-level task. It could be all these things, but it's us gathering that sufficient evidence to prove that they didn't just learn it for the test, but they've learned it, they've really learned it, and they truly are proficient in those skills.
This video, some of you may have seen this already. This is a glimpse into what CBL has looked like thus far here in Ritenour. It was created by the CNI team and edited by Melanie Turnage. So this is just kind of what we've had in place, and you'll get a glimpse of what it kind of looks like in a classroom.
What is a learning binder?
Our learning binder is something that will help us learn different skills, and so we all don't work on the same thing. Like if people are working on 3rd grade stuff and Ms. Forsty got us all working on 2nd grade stuff, and we already know that, that's what our learning binders are about.
Yeah, all right, Kaylee, what proficiency scale are you on?
A raise.
Roxy?
A raise.
Lewis?
A raise.
Jacob?
Adding in, subtracting, perfect.
Awesome.
So how this helps me is that whenever I watch the videos, it kind of helps me to like add and like do the arrays, and whenever I do the task, then I can actually know what to do.
So with the proficiency scales, we've been working on them since the beginning of the year, and I think that it makes learning visible because you can walk in here and see that students know how to open their notebook and track their progress where they are. I do have some kids who are still working on order of operations, going through that, even though we've already moved on to adding and subtracting fractions.
First, I was working on the code Z5N that explains how I can use the order of operations to solve an expression without parentheses or brackets. Then we did a test on this, and I got a 3 out of 3, which is what I put here and also here. Thumbs up and the thumbs to the side and the thumbs down mean how do you feel you are going with this. Like, do you feel like you're doing good? Do you feel like you're doing somewhat? Or do you feel like you need a lot more practice?
Yeah, so the great thing about this competency-based model in the orchestra classroom is that students come to me with all different levels of experience. So in the class that I am currently working with, we have students who have just started 6 weeks ago and students who have been playing for 5 years. And so with the CBL model, each student is able to pick up with the skills that they need and pace forward. And they can take that time that is appropriate to their learning, and they're not feeling the pressure of, oh, I'm not quite where everyone else is, because we talk about how we're all at different places, and that's okay, and that's the beauty of what it is, and everyone is able to learn and grow based from where they are.
So for today, our mini lesson that I'm going to do with you two is number 5 for both of you all. I want you to look at number 5 and number 6, and both of you all got number 6 correct and the number 5 incorrect. I want you to look at number 5 and what did you do in number 6 that you didn't do in number 5? So both of you brought it down to a unit rate, but you didn't scale back up to the measure that they were asking for, right? So you did a really good job finding unit rate. We just need to remember to scale it up to the measure that they had asked for. So today we're going to do a mini lesson on that. So go ahead. So this is where you guys got confused and stopped. Now, what did they ask for? How many seconds did they ask for in the question? 60. Can we go from 1 unit to 60? I want you guys to talk to each other about how did you go from 1 to 60?